Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football tips for Saturday the 2nd of December. I've started this video and I've got next to no battery. You're probably going to see a battery warning very shortly. So I need to go straight through this. So it's £20 stake and I haven't actually selected the football so far. But if you're watching this video after 7 PM on Friday, then you will see the football selections and the matches in the description and the first comment. So let me get into it. So I've spent £20 on the horses. Fingers crossed that the racing actually happens. So I've had an 11 pence. I've rounded it up to £20. Excuse me. 11p each way, lucky 63. 7 pence each way, sixfold. That was just a round up from the bet. And I've also had 50 pence each way singles. On all these selections. There's only 6 for today, and they are as follows. The first selection is Bring Me Action at 17-2 in the 11.49 at Doncaster, paying 4 places instead of 3. I tipped this horse the other day, and it was actually a non-runner. And then I had a look through this particular card last year, and this horse came second in the race. It ran after a wind operation, which I don't like. Well, that doesn't matter because that was last year. And it ran its best race, or its best racing post rating so far, on its reappearance after a wind operation. They've said it's in poor form, but in my opinion, I think they've aimed it for this race again. It's been running over hurdles. The most recent run over hurdles was a distance too short for it, and at Wincanton where you can get left behind. The better run was before that at Exeter, over hurdles again, but as you're well aware, it's a very stiff track there, so that would have made up for the, once again, a distance too short for it. It's over clearly a track and a distance it likes tomorrow at Doncaster. I think it's 3 miles, 2.5. It's in a race it's ran in before, which is always interesting. So clearly the connections are possibly going for it again. So that's the first selection. The next selection is Hawk's Eye View at 18-1 in the 12.21 at Doncaster. It's a poor race. The favourite should win, but once again, it's vulnerable under a penalty. I've gone for this horse because it ran promisingly first time out over hurdles. It has been point-to-pointing. It's Sue Smith, so they'll always come on for a run. I'm expected to do more than just try and get itself a handicap mark because there's 1 or 2 horses that I believe could be paddling with 2 or 3 jumps to go, or 2 or 3 furlong to go, even so. This horse, it's got Connor Rabbit on board, claiming 5. Well, if you're just going for a handicap mark, I don't think you'd normally put a promising claimer on board. So I just find it interesting. I think it could sneak a place. There's no extra places in that race. The third selection is Java Point at 14-1 in the 12.30 at Newbury, paying 4 places instead of 3. Tell you what, I'm going to go to that race because I can't remember why I picked it. I'll be honest. Actually, I do. It ran in the race last year. Once again. I think it came 3rd in the race last year. Give me 1 second. I hopefully shouldn't have to do this again. Right, forget that. Yeah, it came 3rd in the race last year. I think it's a more competitive race this year. However, it's interesting the fact that it's going for the race again. 14-1 is too big a price to ignore for a race. It's been targeted already and runs in again. The fourth selection is Irish Hill at 17-2 in the 140 at Newbury. And that's just a money back special, but forget that. It's the paying first 3 at Sky Bet. The trainer won it last year with, I think it was called Red Risk, Paul Nichols. It runs this Irish Hill in this race, and I think it's got a decent chance. That's basically it, really. Next selection is Our Champ at 12-1 in the 2.15 at Newbury in the Jerry Fielden. So this horse is in cracking form. It didn't run its best of races last time, but I think it ran too freely. If it isn't taken on for lead, I think this horse could attempt to make up. And if he can get a relatively uncontested lead, it could be very difficult to pass because it is a good horse in decent form. It just ran a bit of a poor race last time. It's got Rex Dingle on board, which I think a decent jockey, and I think this horse could be hard to peg back. The favourite is pretty warm in the race, but it had a recent, well, it's not a recent, it's coming off a wind operation. So there's the warning. It came off a wind operation, the favourite. It could have been revitalised by that, but we're going to find out tomorrow. So I wouldn't want to take a stingy price or a stinky price about the short price favourite in a race where it's quite open. And the final selection is Our Power at 14-1 in the 250 at Newbury. The Coral Gold Cup paying 7 places instead of 4. A consistent performer on its way up. Last season, very interesting. It reappeared in the 2 mile, 2.5 race over fences and ended up running the Grand National. So what's that all about? I think this horse is thriving under Sam Thomas. It's owned by Di Walters and the Potter Group. Di Walters came out of... He had that helicopter crash that we keep being reminded about by Nick Luck every single time it's Di Walters' colours. Well, it's a year and a month since the crash. So is there going to be some kind of headline, like fairy tale? However, he has got another one in the race. Can't think what it is offhand. The minute I press stop on this video, I'll remember. Anyway, so those are all the selections. I can't think what it is. You'll see it anyway when you go to the race. So that my nap probably, if I had to say which one, I can't give you one. I would say they're all consistently fancied the same, apart from Hawk's Eye View, which is a bit of a risky proposition. But apart from that, I fancy them pretty equal. So that means absolutely nothing to you, so I apologise for that. So the football bet will be in the description and in the comment section. So that'll be by no later than 7 o'clock Friday evening. So the very best of luck. Leave your comments. Let me know if you think I've picked an absolute bag of garbage. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.